Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep / batch cooking video. So in these videos, they are intended to inspire and motivate you guys to get up and get in the kitchen and get to cooking. That way, whenever you need a meal, need a snack, or whatever, it is already prepared and ready to go, so that way we do not make bad choices. Let's get in the kitchen and see what's cooking this week. All right, y'all, so we are going to start out with blueberry muffins. I got this recipe from Keto Connect. I did just switch up one of the ingredients, but all the other ingredients I left the same. So the first thing that we're going to do is throw 1 cup of almond flour in that bowl, as well as 2 teaspoons of baking powder. And then in a smaller bowl, I put in 1/4 cup of butter that I did throw in the microwave. Then I also added 1/4 cup of erythritol, a pinch of salt, and then when the butter was finished, I went ahead and added the butter in there as well. It also calls for 2 tablespoons of almond milk, 2 large eggs. This is where I changed it up a little bit. They asked to use stevia. I don't care for stevia in my dessert, so instead I added that Jordan Skinny syrup, and I put in 1 tablespoon. That was the cookie dough flavor. You can use whatever flavor you want, though. I also put in there 1 teaspoon of vanilla, stirred it up. Then I added the blueberries, and I kind of lightly stirred those up in there as well. Then I just lined my cupcake pan with my silicone molds, and as evenly as possible, I added in the blueberry muffin batter, and I just use a little scoop, and then if I need to even things out, I go back in later. But I preheated my oven to 350 degrees, and in my oven, I baked these for around 25 minutes, and they came out beautifully. These are so good. You guys really need to try these. I will have this recipe linked down below in the description box if you guys are interested. So next up, I'm also going to be making an egg casserole for my husband for his breakfasts in the morning. So I threw in that bowl around 8 eggs, a little bit of salt, some pepper, and then I added some everything but the bagel seasoning. That really gave it a lot of flavor as well. And then I put in a little bit of Daisy sour cream, and then I just mixed that up really well. And I went in with vegetables that I cooked in my air fryer the night before, as well as I had some bacon and some sausage that I cooked up. So I did just crumble up the rest of that bacon that I had in the refrigerator. I added that to the bottom of that. And then the same thing with that sausage. I just cut that up, added that to the bottom of that pan. That pan is an 8 by 8 inch casserole dish. So then after that, I went ahead and added some cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want, whatever you have on hand. And then I dumped the egg mixture on the top of all of that. And then I just kind of used my whisk and made sure that the egg mixture was even. And topped it off with a little more cheese because you can't go wrong with cheese. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees. I baked that till it was golden brown on the top. And then when it was finished, that's what it looked like. Oscar said that this was delicious. So if you are looking for something easy, sometimes it's good to just throw a bunch of stuff from your refrigerator into a casserole, and it makes a delicious casserole. No waste. Next up, I am going to be cooking a Crockpot meal. Those are the ingredients that I'm going to be using. That entire rotisserie chicken, I picked every bit of that chicken off. I put it in the bottom of that Crockpot. I add an entire jar of that chile verde salsa. I probably didn't say that right. And then probably around 2 cups of chicken bone broth, as well as 1 cup of sour cream. You can go in with more if you want, but I just chose to do 1 cup. And then I kind of stirred it up, and I did reevaluate, and I added a little bit more of the chicken bone broth. So total, I probably added 2 cups. Then I decided to go in with some cilantro. I wasn't going to at first, but I was like, cilantro would be so good in there. So I went ahead and cleaned that. I always wash my vegetables in cold water and a little bit of vinegar, and then I rinse it. I cut that up and just toss that in with that chicken mixture as well. And this was a huge hit. And then I just let that cook on low for probably about 6 hours. And we threw this over some cauliflower rice. I'm telling you, everybody loved this dish. Sometimes the best dishes are when you just throw stuff together. Give it a try. It's probably not going to let you down if you're putting in ingredients that you know you love. Next up, I'm going to be making a broccoli and chicken salad. Those are the ingredients that I'm going to be using. Again, that is some rotisserie chicken that I just pulled off of the bone. And yeah, we are going to go in there with some apple cider vinegar too. I promise you it's good though. So that broccoli is half of it I'm going to use for this dish, and the other half I'm going to save for the dish that I'm going to make after this. The same thing with that chicken. I'm only going to use half of that rotisserie chicken in this dish. So half of that broccoli went into that bowl as well as half of that chicken. And then I did try to take some of the skin out of that chicken because it's fine in like a cooked dish, but not in something cold. That kind of grosses me out. But I threw some mayonnaise in there. I threw some Dijon mustard in there as well as some sour cream. I really like the flavor that mayonnaise and sour cream has together. Then I just went in there with the seasonings, some salt and pepper, kept the seasoning simple. I added probably like around a teaspoon to half a tablespoon of the apple cider vinegar, probably a little less than a tablespoon of the monk fruit sweetener. I stirred it a little bit, and then I decided it needed something more, so I did go in with some dill. Oh my goodness, everybody loved this. The flavor was on point. So if you guys are looking for a colder salad as it gets warmer outside, you should try this. Next up, the rest of that broccoli, I am just going to steam so that way it's a little bit softer. I don't get it too soft, kind of in between crunchy and soft. Once that was finished, I am going to be making another casserole dish. So those are the ingredients I'm going to use. Again, I'm going to use the other half of that chicken as well. So this is the first time I ever made this. It was delicious. We absolutely loved this dish. So the first thing I did is I just took all that chicken, threw it in the bottom of the casserole dish. Same thing with that broccoli that we steamed. And then I went in with probably around 1 cup of sour cream. And then that Rayo's sauce, I only had a little bit left. So that ended up being probably around 3/4 a cup of that. I added my seasonings, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I did go in with some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, and some onion, minced onion. I just stirred that right up in the casserole dish and make my life easy peasy. And then I did top it with some cheese, and I preheated my oven to 400 degrees. And I just cooked that until the cheese was nice and golden brown and melted. And this was so good. My son loved this. And, you know, sometimes my kids like some of the keto stuff and sometimes not, but that was a winner. Next up, we're going to be making some hot dog chili. So those are all the delicious ingredients that we are going to be putting into this chili. And honestly, I should have made a double batch because it went so quickly. So I just went in with my spatula and started cooking up the ground beef. I did add some diced onion and some garlic to that so it could all saute up together and give it nice flavors. And then I just went ahead and cut up some green pepper, jalapeno, and I just went ahead and dumped that right in there to the hamburger as well, and it's nice to just let all that cook together. The same thing with the celery. I went ahead and got it all cut up, and same thing, added that to the hamburger meat. This is going to be full of flavor, you guys. Adding little vegetables like that to your chili makes it so good. I did go in with a couple of cups of beef bone broth, as well as that was probably around 4 ounces of tomato sauce. I did add some pepper as well as some salt. And then I added around a half a tablespoon of chili powder and probably around a teaspoon of cumin. Then I just gave that a good stir and let that boil down. While that boiled down, I went ahead and made the hot dogs. I made the hot dogs in the air fryer. These probably are not the cleanest hot dogs to use, but I had them in my freezer and I wanted to use them up, and there's only 1 carb in these. So I just added these to the air fryer. I went ahead and put my air fryer on 400 degrees, and then I cooked them for around 6 minutes. I did flip them and I cooked them again for just a couple more minutes before I went ahead and then cut them up, and I added 5 of those hot dogs to the chili, and oh my goodness, we put this over chaffles. It was so good. And if you don't want it that runny, you don't have to add in quite so much beef bone broth. So it just depends on how runny or how thick you like your chili. But that is how we like ours, and it was so delicious. All right, y'all, that is the end of this week's meal prep. If you guys are enjoying these videos, if you could do me a favor and give them a huge thumbs up, that way I know that you guys are liking these videos. And also, don't forget to tag me on Instagram. I'm going to leave my Instagram link in the description box below. Go down there, follow me, tag me, let me know what you are meal prepping, or let me know if you guys try any of these recipes and if you and your family liked them. Another thing too, if you're not part of my YouTube family, I would love to have you join the Simply Misty family. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button as well. And if you subscribe, don't forget to tap that bell so that way you can get notified whenever I upload a new video. Stay safe out there, stay healthy. I am praying for you, your family, and your country. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys, and don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye. On my own, but I don't know why you hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice when